Recording in progress. Yes, yes, yes. What's going on, family? What is up? What is up? What is up? Good morning or good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're tuning in from. It is your boy Abel checking in one time with the Prophet Society. Super excited to be able to host tonight's session with you guys all because it's the start of the trading week, man, and I'm always extremely excited at the beginning of the week because, man, it's another opportunity for us to go ahead and potentially make some money. So, family in the chat, please one time go ahead and drop those locations. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from right now. Right, let me make sure that you guys can hear me loud and clear. Definitely also go ahead and do me one favor and smash the heck out of that like button as well. Right, like the stream if you guys could possibly do us that one favor. We are going to be more consistent here, especially at least for right now, the Sundays. We're going to start to do a lot more as well throughout the week on the YouTube channel, but for the most part, we will be live here on Sundays once again, providing you guys with our weekly overview, a market preparation, give you guys our thoughts and opinions from both the fundamental side of things, the technical side of things, and just pretty much every form of analysis out there we like to go over with y'all. Just so that we are all pretty much, whether we're on the same page or not, could be different, right? Depending on people's ideologies on certain setups. But for the most part, you guys are definitely going to hear from a bunch of different perspectives on the market overall. And then you guys can go ahead and choose with whatever perspective correlates with you. And, hopefully it helps you guys out overall in this week. Bro, let's see who we got in the building, family. I see we got Tony. What's up, my guy, Tony? I see you. Tammy in the building. Jose, Jonathan, Kim, 20 Pips, Savage, Jose, Shintaka. What's up? We got Texas, Colombo, Sri Lanka, Atlanta, Big Chewy. I see you. Jury in the building. New Mexico, Southern California, Tampa, Florida in the house. Brooklyn, New York in the building. Savage Land, US tapping in. Shout out to you guys that are with us as of right now, family. Definitely appreciate y'all. And a big shout out for you guys that actually decided to smash the like button as well. Again, it definitely does do a lot more for us than you guys might think. It just helps the algorithm here on YouTube. Let the audience know, let YouTube know pretty much that we're here providing value, right? So definitely appreciate you guys, all of y'all that have liked the button so far. For those of you guys that do plan on liking the actual like button or smashing the like button, we appreciate you guys as well ahead of time. Right, but I see we got Nairobi, Kenya in the building. Moray, what's going on? How are you doing? Hopefully you're doing phenomenal. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get right into this, family. Don't want to waste too much time. And I want to go ahead and just start off the stream with the typical, with the traditional, going over the news for the week, give you guys all the major news events, give you guys my thoughts and opinions around the news events. And then we'll go ahead and get right into the technicals. We do have, for the most part, I believe the whole team is going to be on here tonight. Whenever the entire team is on, I feel like we have some really dope, amazing sessions for sure. And there's a lot of different ideologies going into the overall week, right? So definitely got Michigan in the house. What's going on, Michael? Appreciate you for tuning in as well. But let's go ahead and see what we got on the radar for this week, family, right? So looking at tomorrow, we do have a bank holiday out there in Canada. It is Canada Day, right? So big shout out to all you Canadians in the building. If you guys are a Canadian member in the chat, definitely go ahead and let me know. Drop a 3 in the chat if you guys are from Canada. Definitely appreciate you for tuning in, and happy Canada Day to you as well. Right now, we also do have the start, or really not the start of it, right? But on the calendar, they actually do got Independence Day, which is pretty much just talking about how things are going to close a little bit earlier. And that's going into Tuesday, which Tuesday is July 4th, an absolutely major holiday over here in the U.S., right? So happy Independence Day to all of us Americans as well. Big deal. But again, because it is a major holiday, we have to be mindful of that. The markets will be moving with a lot less volume, right? But let's go ahead and just finish out Monday. So we do have some CPI data coming out for the Swiss franc. We have some PMI data dropping for the euro as well. We have some PMI data dropping as well for the pound. And that PMI data, guy, definitely is it is news events that definitely shake the markets for sure. So we want to be aware of them. We also have some PMI data even for the US dollar as well. That's could also influence price and definitely shake some things around. We will actually be live at that time to actually go ahead and go over that news together. Because if you guys are a part of the premium familia, first of all, I appreciate you guys so much for being a part of the family. But second of all, we're actually going to be going live Monday through Thursday now, right? So we're actually going to be adding Mondays to our rotation. just trying to go above and beyond and providing you guys with a lot of value for one, but also a lot of, live trading, right? Live execution, so you guys can continue to see us, in real time, all right? Because again, actually finding a setup and watching it and then actually executing on it is two completely different things, right? And we just want to go ahead and do it live with you guys together. And if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. But at least we're being able to do it together, and you guys are able to, for the most part, just look at our thought process, right? I think that's the biggest thing for me, right? It's not the fact whether we win or lose on the trade. It's more so just our thoughts, right? Our mindset when we're actually approaching the entire thing. All right, because I mean, at the end of the day, we're not going to win every single trade, but our emotions can be controlled every single trade. Our mindset can be in check every single trade. Our risk management can be in check every single trade. And that's what we want to focus on, right? We focus on the things that we can control, and we don't put too much emphasis on the things that we can't control, right? Because the things that we can't control, again, are really what affects a lot of traders, not realizing, like, listen, that's out of your control, right? And the outcome of positions is definitely one of those things that we just cannot control at the end of the day. All right, so we do have a bunch of PMI data though dropping for all throughout Monday. A lot of PMI data for sure. All right, so going into Tuesday, we do have again July 4th, Independence Day here for the U.S. We also have some interest rates decision for the Australian dollar, and the rate statement that follows that, which obviously is going to shake up the Australian dollar pair. So anybody that does trade the Aussie, definitely be mindful of that. Besides that, there's nothing too crazy on the radar for Tuesday. Again, the big thing is just the fact that it is a major holiday over here in the U.S. Going into Wednesday, what do we have? We have some non-monetary policy meetings, some meetings over there in the euro, or at least for the ECB, that can definitely influence the euro. We have some more PMI data. We also have what I think is probably going to be one of the most important meetings of this entire week is the fact that the FOMC meeting minutes are actually going to be dropping, right? And then 2 hours after that, we have a member of the Fed that's going to be speaking. And anytime any member of the Fed opens their mouth, it definitely has the ability to shake up price for sure, right? So that is Wednesday. Then going into Thursday, we have some more PMI data. We have some retail sales for the euro, and then we have our ADP non-farm employment change dropping at 8:15. Right? Again, this is something that is going to influence the markets. All right, just because it's talking about the employment numbers overall, and that always usually has some type of influence on the markets for sure. Followed by that, we do have the initial jobless claims, which is going to be dropping. That can obviously shake the markets. Then we have some non-manufacturing ISM PMI data coming out, and then JOLTS job opening. So it's a bunch of I don't want to say that they're not important news events, but they're definitely a lot that could still overall shake the markets, even on Thursday. But then on Friday, we definitely have one of the big boy events that's dropping. Friday is definitely going to be a very important one because we have non-farm payrolls dropping. All right, at 8:30 a.m., non-farm payrolls is getting released, and this is definitely a major event that a lot of traders and investors pay attention to because it definitely is going to shake the markets. All right, so that is for the most part our news for the week. Again, there's a bunch of PMI data, some retail sales, some employment, some jobs related, news events coming out. So we'll see overall how that actually plays out. Now, the cool thing, if you are a part of the premium community, most of these events, for the most part, especially the dollar correlated news events, will be able to actually trade live together. See what the actual numbers come out as, see how the market reacts to it, and then we'll be able to go ahead and see if there's any opportunities that we can go ahead and take advantage of overall. But that is our news for the week, family. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so let's see what else we got here in the building. Right, shout out to Thomas. Thomas, I see you, bro. Happy Canada Day to you. I know it is tomorrow based off the calendar, so definitely happy Canada Day for you as well. Matthew in the building. That's what's up, PS Best Investment. Appreciate you, Matthew, so much for being a part of the family, my brother. Again, family, one time, if you guys can, definitely go ahead and just smash the like button. We appreciate every single one of you guys that do go ahead and just smash the like button one time because it does help us out tremendously. All right, now let's go ahead and get into the actual technicals. I do have the team in the building. We have the boy Skaggs. We have the young legend, young lion, Mr. Kyle Prasad in the house as well. And before we even get into any of the technicals, I just want to make sure or give them an opportunity, to go ahead and express some thoughts for this up and coming week. Say what's up to you guys in the chat, a part of the family. So Kyle, Skaggs, if you guys are available, definitely go ahead and unmute yourself and just give your initial thoughts of this up and coming week, right? Like, how are you guys preparing yourself for this up and coming week? Because I think it's gonna be a really, really good one if you ask me, right? I don't know. I say that every single week, obviously, but I'm definitely excited for this up and coming week, man. So how are you guys feeling about this up and coming trading week? Any thoughts on the news itself, Skags? And yeah, let's go ahead and then we'll get into the technicals. So how are you guys feeling over there?
What's good? What's good? What's good? I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. To be honest, I feel like, but then I think we might cool off towards the later part of the week, especially since we have July 4th and whatnot. Um, I do think tomorrow with those unemployment numbers. I mean, shoot, we have unemployment numbers coming out all week. Though tomorrow is the ISM manufacturing numbers. Unemployment numbers drop on Friday, so I do feel like the manufacturing numbers will have an effect on the market, especially since it's forecasted to actually beat previous. We'll see if that happens, but I really feel like there's a lot of news this week, and there are going to be some good moves, regardless of when it happens, or if it's earlier part of the week or the end of the week. There definitely will be some opportunities to grow your account in a massive way. So I hope you guys are plugged in with us, because I'm ready to attack the markets again this week. We ended off last week on a very nice accord. So, I think this week we'll continue off of that.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Now we definitely did ended up having a great Friday overall. A great trade called out by Kyle. USD CAD went absolutely insane. So definitely a great way to end the week for sure. All right, but Skags, my brother, if you are available, definitely let us know. Definitely go ahead and give your initial thoughts on this up and coming week and what your game plan is, for this week coming up as well. So how are you feeling over there, bro?
Yeah, bro, I'm feeling good. To be honest, I'm coming from a week off. It's also a holiday week. So I'm coming to the market pretty fresh. Probably won't do much early week. To be honest, I have no thoughts on anything. 'Cause like I said, I just came back from a week off. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm coming with like fresh perspectives. I'll see what some of the early data shows. And yeah, we'll see if it's even a trading week for me at all. Usually after I take a week off, I do like to get kind of slowly settled back in. But if opportunities arise, we'll strike on those. But yeah, man, I'm definitely clear headed and ready to go.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah, so family, I mean, again, it's going to be a really, really great week if you ask us, man. Shout out to Donnie in the building. What's going on, Donnie? I appreciate you. Little bro, Danny, I see you as well. What is going on? We got my guy George in the building from Melbourne, Australia. What's going on, George? Good to see you in the building as well, my brother. Appreciate you so much. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at what the market has doing, what it has done last week, guys, and what we think can actually happen this up and coming week overall. Right now, again, I'm gonna give my thoughts and opinions. Then obviously the boys can come on and give their thoughts and opinions for the dollar overall. And that's like the cool thing about these sessions here, right? And just this conglomerate that we created is that we don't always necessarily agree, right, on the setup, right? We don't necessarily always agree on the direction, right? And that's the beautiful thing about it. Why? Because we're able to now come on these calls together and just really prove our points, right? Why do we think the markets are gonna do certain things? Right? And that's the best thing about it because they might have a perspective that I wasn't really considering, when I was analyzing the markets, right? And that only is not going to help me and help them, but it's also going to generally help you guys, right? Because then you guys can go ahead and just, choose the perspective that I said makes the most sense to you guys overall. All right, but let's see what we got here, guys. So overall, the dollar itself has been very, very interesting to say the least. We actually seen a very choppy week last week for the most part, right? We actually pretty much closed almost right where we actually opened last week, right? So it was a very up and down week overall. And what really ended up getting us in that level was simply just the fact how we ended up closing on Friday actually. Right? We had a very aggressive closure on Friday, that actually got us below a very interesting level of that 103, right? That 103 round psychological level is a very interesting level of structure for sure. And we were actually trading pretty bullish above it. But since we did have a very bearish day on Friday due to news, we've seen obviously a very interesting closure to the downside. Now, what do we think can actually happen next year, right? So I'm actually going to go ahead and I'm going to erase my entire chart as well. And I kind of want to start with a fresh outlook here, fresh analysis, so that we can have, some fresh thoughts on this, right? Because for the most part, the dollar really hasn't been doing much overall. We've really been choppy since the start of this entire year. Again, this is literally the low of the year, and this is the high of the year, right? The low was put in back in February, the high was put in March. Ever since then, we really just have been extremely choppy overall, and it's just because it's been a lot tougher to really predict what's going to happen, right? I mean, we got to think about things from a fundamental standpoint, right? We're talking about now market conditions shifting a little bit because there's even more uncertainty in these markets as to what the Fed is going to do and as to how the markets are going to react to what the Fed's been saying. If we really go back 2 years ago, I mean 2021 and all the way up into 2023, this market was extremely predictable. Why? It's because we knew what was going to happen, right? We knew because of all the fear, uncertainty, and doubt revolving COVID, was going to cause the market to absolutely skyrocket, right? Again, who would have thought that a global pandemic was going to happen, right? So that itself really just caused a lot of demand for the US dollar as safe havens really, were the talk of the towns, right? It was the play to be in. But now, because we've seen inflation really start to be a lot more under control, we've seen the Fed actually pause interest rate hikes for the time being, at least for right now. It's been a little bit harder to really see which direction we're going to break out of, right? Because the dollar really benefits, guys, during times of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. But now that we're starting to see some, you could say, a light at the end of the tunnel, it's definitely been a little bit harder to try to predict what's going to happen, right? And if you're a trend trader like myself, right, I really like identifying trends and ride trends. If you're a trend trader like myself, I mean, these choppy conditions really aren't that favorable, all right? Now, obviously, we're looking at things from the daily time frame, but for the most part, these choppy conditions are extremely annoying to actually trade in, which is why I've actually adjusted my personal trading style, right? I went from actually being a swing trader, right, holding positions for as long as possible, right, at least holding positions for a week or so, or especially if I know that I'm in a really strong trend, to now me low key scalping slash intraday trading, right? Because I noticed that the conditions have been extremely choppy, and I trade literally majority all USD pairs, right? So if the dollar's super choppy, then for the most part, most of the other USD correlated pairs are as well. The only one that hasn't been choppy, for the most part, has been the yen pairs, right? USD JPY this entire year has just been absolutely on fire, and that more so just has to do with the differences in central bank policies, right, from the Fed and the Bank of Japan, which is why this one has been so bullish, right? This by far has been, in my opinion, the currency to try to trade if you were going to be trading any of these yen pairs for the most part, because GJ has been going absolutely insane as well, right? And that's just because the yen has just been extremely weak, right? The Bank of Japan's policies does not favor their own currency whatsoever. All right, so that's like the only ones that I feel like have actually been trending. For the most part, everything else has been relatively, extremely choppy for the most part, especially all the USD pairs overall, right? But what do I think is going to happen this up and coming week here? I mean, again, just based off what I'm reading here and based off what I'm seeing, we are now just retesting back into this order block right here in price. We seen price come here, create this little order block in price. And now we just came off, we actually seen a really decent reaction off of that level. I personally would not be surprised, right? I would not be surprised if we do see more downside to at least start the week. I just wouldn't be surprised. I personally would love to see us, come down and target down to around the 101.6 level. Right now, again, this is just my opinion personally, just off of what I think is going to happen. I'm pretty sure the guys, if they agree, they'll tell me. If they disagree, they'll also let me know as well. But I would be interested in something like that, right? Seeing this potentially actually go bearish for the week, right? I would love to see if this order block right here, right, is actually going to be something that can hold, if it's strong enough to hold, or otherwise known as a supply zone. This could be also called a supply zone, whatever you want to use, right? But I think that there is a good chance that we do see some lower pricing here, in my opinion, for the dollar. And yeah, I would love to target this area of demand, if not potentially lower. All right, I would love to target this order block down here, if not potentially lower, right, to see again what's going to happen. um I've been flip flopping in terms of dollar strength. I'm gonna be honest. One week I've been bullish. One week I've been extremely bearish. Just because again based off price action. But this week I'm definitely leaning towards more, sell side for the dollar overall. Right, so that's just how I'm going to be positioning myself to start the week. Obviously, if we do end up clearing this high up here, right? If we clear the 103,500s, the 103,600 levels, like if we just get back above, right, this daily engulfing right here, then I will be obviously more, more upside expected, right? If we break that, then I think we might really go ahead and see, above 105s personally, right? But overall, I'm definitely leaning towards bearishness, so that's what I would like to take advantage of overall in this up and coming week. Okay. Now for the fellas, what do you guys think, man? Are you guys bullish? Are you guys bearish? Like, let's have this discussion so we can really have a game plan going up into this week. But what do you guys think? You guys are leaning towards for the dollar itself.
I could definitely say I side with you, bro. I could definitely say I'm more on the bearish side, especially after the reaction we got on Friday. Um, I was looking to see if we can get some sort of continuation off of that little 1 hour candle that
Hmm.
we're looking at right now. But to be honest, after after that sharp drop on Friday, I think we're definitely in the works of a momentum shift. And like, what you just marked right there is perfect. That liquidity sweep, and then if we were gonna continue up off of that move, it would have had to have been a choppy downwards move, a choppy downwards correction.
Hmm.
But just looking at the reaction on Friday, we the momentum to the downside was very sharp. We even left a daily engulfing candle. So, that alone is telling me that for the earlier part of this week and for like the first half of this week, or maybe even the entire week, I'm leaning towards the bearish side for the dollar.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, and this is the thing, right? Like, I think long term we will be, at least for now. But that's not to say that we still can't see more upside for the time being, right? So, again, I would love for us to actually see bullishness to start the week to get us into better opportunities to short the market overall. But yeah, generally, I'm definitely leaning towards more downside. I think we could still go ahead and at least see this thing correct back to the upside first. So that can be an opportunity we take advantage of, right? Again, having the overall direction itself is definitely one thing, but also seeing price action and being able to take advantage of counter trend opportunities is also there too. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Right, but the boy Skaggs, man, what do you think, bro? Definitely interested to hear what you got.
Yeah,
What's your
so I
thoughts?
have a problem with your chart, and not your chart as in like your analysis, but like as in my chart looks different than yours.
You want to share your screen?
'Cause
Which
I
dollar
don't
feed are
know.
you using?
Yeah, I know I'm using a different feed. I know that. I know why it looks different. I'm not because I'm using a different feed. It's just interesting to me because now it's got me kind of second guessing some of my thoughts. So
You're
if you go to
probably
the
using
one
the
hour, go
Dow
to the one
Jones.
hour on your chart.
You say go to 1 hour.
Yeah, go to the one. I'm just gonna let everybody see the difference. I'll switch to my screen in a second. Yeah, zoom in on like Friday's move. Like, yeah, get rid of all that. Yeah, zoom in. So yeah, see on your chart how there's a liquidity sweep there. How like
Yeah,
you have that check mark. Cool. That don't exist for me on my chart. So, and that
really.
changes things unfortunately for me. So I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I'm just using a different feed. Again, this is sometimes this happens with the LPs, but I'll switch my screen here. And again, you can see on mine. I don't the chart that I use for the DXY doesn't actually have that sweep,
Mm.
which for the way that I trade actually makes a kind of a drastic difference because again, like there's a lot of sell volume in that and you didn't break structure, which may be a sign of absorption for the people that trade like I do, especially when more buying activity comes in immediately after and it like immediately stops price here. That's a sign of heavy buying. Sometimes we will, that doesn't mean that this is the low, but that means if we dip below this low, that's a buying opportunity for us. Whereas looking at your chart, I may not have that same idea. So I'm a little torn. And this is why I'm probably not going to trade with a bias this week because again, I'm looking at the market with fresh eyes here, so I'm just taking in data. If I was gonna force a bias, you guys know I'm probably a seller. I'm not bearish. I'm not bullish the dollar in the macro of things. So I'll always look at it with that bias. But
Yeah.
looking at this logically, again, based off the chart that I use, we don't actually have that low. And again, you can argue, well, this is the difference of, 5 points or whatever, 10 points. And it is, but based off the logic that I deploy, it actually matters. That being said, when I look out at some of the 4 hour action here, um, again, last week we continued our little bit. I mean, we didn't really do anything last week. We went up last week just to kind of close back down. So it's kind of a pretty flat week overall. I will say, the Friday action, a lot of sell volume. I probably do want to trade with the idea of possible shorts, but because of what I'm seeing from these lows, I do expect this 4 hour candle that kind of like forced this move. I do expect this to have a pretty deep retracement.
Yeah.
So ultimately, like there's two ideas I'm looking at on this. Actually, there's three if you include like the buy side idea. The buy side idea, based off the chart that I see, right? If I was gonna get in buy side, I'd probably be looking to enter somewhere around this little stutter candle here. So it's like if overnight, and this would be like an early week trade. So like early night, like again, like I mean you can even see it now, like maybe into tonight into London. Again, you push below these structure points. And ideally, I would like to see this slip to like here because this is where the risk to reward's like the best. Like you get like a nice 5 15 minute candle, one 5 15 minute candle after consolidating below here. So basically, you just kind of push down below here, consolidate, maybe even pop back up to like fake people out. But then you get that one hard candle into here. I'm buying that all day long. And again, then targeting higher. If that's not, what you're looking at and you're more bear side, um, after that move kind of completes, and there's two areas I'd be looking at, and that's 102.73, which is just kind of a 5 minute supply. So again, like this is kind of going to be your broader range, right? So you're going to create a lot of noise in between this low and would essentially began to form some of the range here. Again, the white golf traders will know why this little structure point and these candles matter the most. But either way, this is your like established range. Again, yeah, you may play, like I said, you may play like this and extend the range some and then come up here. And then there's all sorts of opportunities. But I'm looking at this 102.73. And then if we don't get the reaction that we normally would want to see off this area, if it doesn't present a trade-off here, remember, we're not just because price comes to this point, we're not just immediately selling. We do want to see, certain things on lower time frames like the 5 minute and so forth, right? We have these very specific execution patterns that we look for. But if we get those at 102.73, I would definitely take a stab. If not, I think it erases a lot of this move. I think
Hmm.
ultimately all the what I say, like the Fibonacci liquidity gets taken, right? So the people that sold off the 50, which is more or less where we'd be trying down here anyway. The 61.8, the 7, all these people are probably going to get squeezed out until it plays the most extreme pocket of liquidity, which is basically above here, right? So basically just looking for, I mean, if I was the market maker, I would I would send the market like this, and then I would drive it up in the morning to bring it back down, to maybe slam it back up and then close. I mean, that's if I was a market maker. I'm not a market maker. The market can do quite the opposite of this. It can just fall right through and never establish all my wildest dreams over here. But yeah, that's what I would be looking at on the dollar. I don't really see us pushing too far past, again, like this 103. I do think we hold, these 103 10, 103 15 levels. Again, maybe we do take out this structure in a very kind of funny way where like maybe I get stopped out and it still continues. It's a possibility. But a clean break above here I think would surprise me. Again, the only case you really have for that is, you know, the digression between this chart and the chart that I'm sure Abel was using, which is this one. See how you have this break here? But the reason I don't use this chart is because now there's no volume. So because I use volume, I can't. That chart's never an option for me, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, this is ultimately my dream scenario here, um, on the dollar. If it doesn't, again, just it can just make clean breaks,
Hmm.
and it could run for some of this higher time frame liquidity. I mean, there's a lot of liquidity left on the dollar to the downside, and the bulls have not been able to do anything. Like none of these moves are impressive. So, but yeah, man, those are my thoughts. You could translate that same idea over to EU, invert the idea on EU, invert the idea for gold. Look at the same idea on like UJ, and yeah, the
Hmm.
base actually UJ. Although I'm bearish the dollar, UJ is probably the worst possible dollar pair you could try to short.
I agree.
So yeah, don't like yeah, like Abel said, those yen pairs are moving for other reasons. So if you're bearish the dollar, but you know the yen is just incredibly weak, that's the worst pair you could pick. You want to go find the strongest currency pair you can, um, and then play that against the dollar, ideally.
Yeah, which is definitely probably the euro itself. Um,
Don't sleep on the Canadian dollar as well, though.
USD.
USD CAD may have much more downside.
I mean, USD
Um,
CAD also did have news that's gonna influence that as well, more lower in my opinion, last week.
yeah, I think it's still on the weekly. I still think it wants like even below here. I remember we discussed this so long ago, like way all the
Yep.
way the way it was back up here. And I kept talking about this trend line liquidity because I kept comparing it to gold on like the weekly, like in this area, how it's gonna take all that. So maybe it has more downside, maybe it doesn't. We'll find out soon. But if this starts to get back above here,
Hmm.
I don't know. We'll have to see. But I do think that this has more downside.
I mean,
So
even the like go to the monthly real quick. Like even the monthly itself, it just looks like
yeah, this looks nasty. And we just opened a new monthly too.
yeah, below the range, that little choppiness. I think we do have
Oh,
more downside.
this is what we were looking at. Hold on, never mind. I'm on the wrong time frame.
Yeah, monthly looks insane.
Yeah, hold on. This is what we were comparing. That's where that all that analysis is from. Yeah, that was me comparing. I'm sorry to get off topic, but that was me comparing like this. So we're saying it's gonna break below that. Yeah, we were looking at this on the monthly, saying yeah, it's gonna break below this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, watch watch out below. Don't sleep on this.
I mean, it's already
I
making the
know there's a
move.
few people looking at USD CAD buys, and to each your own. Don't let me talk you out of your stuff, but yeah, don't be surprised if this has a nice 300 or 400 pip move coming maybe.
Hmm. I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised
those are
about
my
it.
thoughts. The only other thing that I have for y'all is again, make sure you guys. I dropped it in the chat in case you guys didn't see. Let me just double check the chat, see if it's still there. I'll drop the link again as well. But if you guys want to trade with us, absolutely free. You have your chance to win a one of five spots in a little raffle there, completely free. There's no obligation afterwards. It's not going to auto renew into something. It's no obligation. It's literally just a free raffle to trade with us this week in the premium stream. And of course, if you guys are enjoying the content on here, throw us a like as well. Let me see what else we got in the chat though. 20 Pip Savage says, good to see y'all back on the tube. And we appreciate y'all. Let me see. Skag Fueled Kyle's bias on USD CAD shorts. Yeah, there's Eric. I knew Eric was lurking somewhere. That's our resident USD CAD bull. But again, you're in fresh liquidity, bro. There's possibilities, but
Hmm.
not looking hot in my opinion.
Hey man, good luck buying that. Good luck buying that.
I mean, listen, man. Again, if he was looking for buys, I don't see us. I really think we could see a little bit more upside before we take out everything else. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, pullbacks are warranted. It's not like.
Yeah,
I
and
mean, again,
that's
I wouldn't be surprised if we do come back for
like
like
I
one
wouldn't be
thirty
surprised
five,
if we went
34.
above, yeah, the 1.346 level. I wouldn't be surprised if we took that out before we continue lower.
I don't know. But I'm also pretty. It also depends on what this thing wants to do. oil here because I am pretty bullish on oil, which helps out the potential for the Canadian dollar to gain strength. That's not the correlation is not always there, but it definitely there are times when that works out. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see us towards the end of the summer coming up for the 75, 76. And then eventually we'll come back for this wick. But we need to grab some sort of liquidity on the buy side first.
Yeah. I'll be interested for sure. Oh
Getting
no,
oil
man.
buys from 67.24. Jude's in from six. They're my oil traders. I knew they were gonna come out the woodworks. Sean and Saint. Yep. The two that they're dedicated. They're dedicated oil swing traders, man. She's been doing you no favors, guys. That's why I took her off the watch list. I told y'all she's gonna get annoying. Eventually she'll go. Eventually you'll get the payoff. I mean, you guys are in the 67 areas. Yeah, I mean, y'all already up like 300 points, so y'all chilling. She disappointing. Now you're up 300, bro. You up 300 points, man. Don't say she's disappointing. These are nice trades. You guys are in from all the way down here. You guys grab this little liquidity pocket down here. It's perfect. After the wick fill, I like it. I like the attempt. She's just been annoying, so we see what you guys get out of her. But I'm telling you, if you could hold a little bit of those partials to the 76 area by the end of like August, it's definitely potential. I don't know what you're gonna get after that though.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Let's talk about how Kyle said Bitcoin to go to 10K. I don't even want to get Skag started, bro.
Hey man,
Bitcoin, okay, yeah. No, don't get me started. Bitcoin's not going to 10K, but if it does, I'm ready. It's
they
not
didn't
going to
believe it
though.
was gonna go to 4K when COVID happened.
Who didn't believe that?
Everybody thought the bull run was set.
Not us.
Yo, all right, look, Skag's got it on his
So
chart.
hold
See
on.
that sharp drop?
So let me tell you, hold on. I'm gonna use Kyle's logic against him real quick because now you just dug yourself a hole.
Oh, you got him started, bro.
Now he dug himself a hole, bro,
Good
because
job.
look, first off, this is the COVID low, right? Which first off never made a new low,
Oh man.
right? And this is the accumulation, right? So if we were accumulating down here, and even if you got your stupid little spike down, and you're gonna use the COVID as an example, that's not gonna make a new low. That's gonna give you around 20, 22K, and then it will just continue higher. So your whole thing about COVID is like COVID didn't even make a new low. It didn't even bring any like there's nothing even came of that. So like if you're expecting 10K and you're expecting the same type of move, I'm confused because that's not your pattern don't even make sense now.
I've been
Because
confused myself.
your pattern would have had to been like this. You would have had to do something like this. So see
Oh
Kyle, don't
man,
like trust me, bro. I know my price action on Bitcoin, bro.
What's your rebuttal, Kyle? 'Cause you had a bunch of rebuttals against
Bro.
me. None of them made sense, unfortunately. But what's your rebuttal?
my all right. At this point, I'm leaning more towards that side. But
I
my
mean,
rebuttal was from
Kyle, just be
below.
bullish, bro. Just be bullish.
I try to make a bet. You know me, I'm all about my bets
Yeah,
on
try
these
not.
things,
Just be
man.
bullish,
Like,
bro. It's not cool being a bear.
bro, I gave him a 5-to-1 reward, bro, and everything, bro.
Yeah, it's not cool. It's not cool. Don't it's not cool to be a bear. Don't be a bear.
I'm just saying.
How do you own Bitcoin and you're calling like
I'm glad I ain't bro. Honestly, the reason why I was saying that is because I just want to buy like
yeah, I know, but see that's
QE.
the problem though.
That just tells me you
That's
haven't been
not good.
accumulating enough, bro.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
mean I
tells the
want Apple to fold at $2. That doesn't mean I'm gonna mark up a chart that it's gonna it's like what you want and the reality of the market are two different things. That's why I kept trying to tell people about NASDAQ. Bro, again, I'm gonna flex this for the rest of my life, bro. But I called the literal point bottom of Nasdaq, like to
Damn.
the point. Like we were trading that. I called that trade live for y'all at the literal bottom. I don't even care. I've documented proof. I will go back and get the live stream if I have to. And people kept telling me again, it's you. You gotta live in the future, bro. live in the future. Like these markets are already showing you that you're not in this fallacy of what the media is telling you, that you're in a recession and that, interest rates are going higher, they're going to remain so high. Oh my God, there's so much fear. Oh my God, everything's going to tell you. Okay. The media only reports on what has happened, not what is going to happen. They will soon report that markets have hit a new all-time high, and then it will begin suckering in new people.
Hmm.
Yo, what's good with Apple though, bro? What are you thinking?
Yeah, good
Apple's an
way to switch
amazing company. I
topics.
talked about it in the premium, bro. When they announced that Vision Pro, I told y'all like you gotta get in. I mean, it never pulled back like we wanted it to. I don't even know what this analysis is. But I don't know why anybody would ever be bearish on this. Like as an ex-employee, and I don't understand. They have enough cash to do whatever they want. That like they're unaffected. Even if there was a recession, this company goes virtually unaffected, bro. They're not in the business of like yeah, they're not in the business of like failing. They're so solidified. It's not even funny. Cash rich, bro. Cash rich companies are always you don't get these crazy pullbacks. Like everybody wanted, like, oh yeah, Apple's gonna fall and like, oh, it's gonna take out all this liquidity. It's like, bro, it's like, what world do you live in? Apple has never fired anybody due to like economic hardship. Don't matter what the economy is doing. Even in 2008, resilient, bro. Cash rich companies are always gonna fly. End of story. I mean, stuff like this got hit a little bit harder. I know a lot about Apple because I used to work there. So I know it's a very resilient company. And that Vision Pro stuff, I'm telling you, is going to make them a ton of money. Like, you guys can laugh all you want. Oh, it's like however expensive it is. It's like 3 grand. It's crazy. It is crazy. But the people that bought the first iPhones were equally as crazy, spending, however much they spent on those phones to begin with. 700, 800. I was like unheard of to spend that much on a phone.
If they
You out
let
of your
people
mind if you
finance them, they're going crazy.
yeah, you out of your mind if you're bearish on this.
Did they mention anything to do with metaverse with that?
No, but it's implied. Did they use the word metaverse? I don't think they use that specific word, but it's implied. That's what it is. I mean, augmented reality, AR, VR, that's all it's like when we talk about fair value gap, imbalance, and efficiency. It's the same thing.
Interesting. Freaking interesting.
Yeah, the technology in those Vision Pro, like some people I don't think understand how amazing those are. Like the fact that you could see through it and it adjusts based on what you're looking at. Like you could have a conversation with somebody without taking it off. I mean, unless you've actually worn a VR headset, you may not fully understand some of those problems.
I definitely don't. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
You don't got an Oculus?
Nah, I never got an Oculus.
Oh man, I have one. It just sits here because again, for those problems, really.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Apple needs competition, in my opinion.
Think about how many
Yeah,
people actually bought Oculus though because of that whole metaverse craze, and it just never took off the way they thought it would.
yeah.
Well,
Well, those people were living in like dreamland, thinking that those NFTs, the people that are launching those NFTs, were able to do anything.
interesting, man. Let's see. Y'all hear about BlackRock? What about BlackRock buying into a company that's like 80% crypto? That's interesting. I heard
Yeah,
about. I heard.
BlackRock is so diversified, though. It's like, what are
Yeah.
they not in?
I heard about
Although
Michael
interesting
Saylor.
enough, if you guys are in our Discord, our boy Mark put a lot of information in the Discord. He actually dug into a lot of BlackRock's like financials, into their 10Ks and whatnot. He mentioned everything he saw that around BlackRock in terms of like their digital assets and what they're holding and everything to do with grayscale. I've read through it earlier. Mark, I don't know if you're on here, bro. Greatly appreciate you. If you are, if you're not, make sure you guys get in the Discord, read through that. It's very recent inside the community tab. But yeah, go check that out if you guys are interested in that, because there are ways you can buy Bitcoin at technically at discount, right? You can get into some of these things with grayscale to actually buy it at technically a technical discount. The only thing is that you don't actually own Bitcoin. Like you don't have custodial of it. It's more like you're just buying into, the future fluctuations of it.
Sell
Again, just
Nas.
buying into GBTC is basically the idea.
What'd you say, Ray?
Sell Nas.
Sell Nas. You calling a trade?
That's what I'm saying. Like what?
You gotta take the screen
Yeah, I
share
was
if
gonna
you're
say you
gonna
gotta show
buy
us what you're
that.
looking at. If anything. I mean, I think the biggest headline around the crypto space is the firing of that dude at the SEC. I think it is. What's his name?
Oh, Gessler.
Yeah, bro. I think that's like one of the biggest news because he was so anti-crypto. It's not even funny.
We a little late.
It's
Like
also it's also
I know
funny that they do that while all these lawsuits are going on.
y'all talking about crypto and stuff. I'm not trying to
Bro, go ahead.
cut
If you got a
y'all off.
trade, bro, shoot.
But like it's not as early as I would like, but it's still gonna drop. So if y'all want it, go ahead and take it. That's all I'm looking at though. Last Sunday I caught a banger on Nas, so I'm 100% open to trading on these days. I'm looking at Nas right now. Stop loss a little higher. I think it's ready. It has a possibility to come up a little higher. But if you're afraid of that, just maybe give yourself a little more space. One thing I will say is even last Sunday, that Nas trade that I took, um, it did do something like this before it dropped. So I am open to the possibility of that happening. But it's all risk to reward for me. It is worth the risk to reward. So I would go ahead and take it. Hopefully y'all got in. I'm targeting about a 1 to 5.
Interesting.
We're gonna come grab 15,163 and take profit again at 15,139. So that's what I'm taking a look at right now.
Not a bad Sunday trade. Are you expecting this to work within the next hour or two, or is this something you're gonna let rock no matter what?
I'm gonna let it rock no matter what. I'm not going in all the way just because I do just like in my heart, I feel like it's gonna do this. So I'm in just enough to where I won't be mad if I miss out, but I'm not in that deep to where I can't get a better position if I need to. So that's pretty much what I'm looking at right here. So if you want to get in now, you can. Optimal entry will probably be 15 15 203. 15 203. And it does make the hell of a lot of a difference. So we just from there we went from like 1 to 5 to 1 to 10. So that's the difference right there. So for everybody, it's like, it doesn't matter. It definitely does matter to get those type of entries because essentially you can double your position if we do get that move right there. So that's what I'm looking for. Could drop from here, but I'm pretty confident that it could pop up again, honestly. So again, 15,203, we get a push up and clear the liquidity above this high, fill in this inefficiency here. And obviously it's like the market is just, it's doing what it does. I'm just looking for the order flow to continue. the current order flow, that is. All right. So yeah, that's all I got. Sell it now or wait, up to y'all. It will just drastically affect your risk to award. That's the only difference. So whatever y'all feeling, feel free to approach it however y'all would like.
Okay. Say that.
But yeah, that's all I got. Y'all can go back to y'all crypto talk. Like I said, I ain't want to cut y'all off, but I just saw it. I had to get right real quick.
I don't think anybody mad at you at that. To be honest with you.
But
How far are you looking for it to drop?
If
I can't have I almost showed y'all too. I can't show you all of that. Hold on now. We're gonna clear out this low for sure. After that, probably return bullish again. I don't see it having a need to go too much lower than that. So yeah, that's about it. I'm just looking forward to go here. You know, it's Sunday. You know, obviously it could do more, but you know, I'm not really, you know, trying to
Are we in bank
overcomplicate.
holiday tomorrow?
I don't know. You know me.
I know. I also don't know. So
No, no,
I don't
it's
do
not. No,
anything on
not
that.
tomorrow, bro.
I
Tomorrow
mean,
is
it's mentioned on the calendar tomorrow, but I don't know if it's like they're closing
Like an
banks and stuff.
actual bank holiday.
Yeah, I don't
the
know.
I was
bank
just
holiday
curious
should be on the
to
fourth.
what kind of volume to expect.
Yeah, because
Oh,
I
I keep
spoke.
forgetting I can't use this anymore. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, because I spoke about that as well. Like they have it on the calendar for some reason, but I don't know. Let's see. Uh, yeah, it just says
Yeah, it's a
United
bank
States
holiday.
early close at 1 p.m.
Yep. Yeah.
So at least in the morning it should be open the banks, but for the most part it says just early close.
Okay. Which means we're gonna get volume spikes right in the morning, and then that's it. Don't be chasing breakouts then, family. That's what that means.
That is a fact. That's not a bad attempt though, Ray. Listen, hopefully it does what it did last week for you. Last week's trade went crazy. Like
I don't lose
bonkers.
on
You don't lose on Nas, you said?
I mean, I haven't. So I mean, I ain't trying to start now.
Shoot, I feel that.
And I'm gonna actually go ahead and risk my full 1% because I've been cutting back a little too much. So I wanna have a good morning when I wake up.
Ray, somebody's asking for the TP in numbers. If you could just read that out for them.
Uh,
Eric asking me about the Taiwan War. I don't think there's anything new on that front. I mean I have been away from my desk though, so I could be wrong. Let me see. Let me do a quick check here. I don't think we've had anything additional on that front though. I know France is having a interesting time.
Yeah, they're good. They have some major issues over there in France.
Yeah, they know how to get together as a country and express their anger. That's for sure. I mean, it's a lot easier to do over there, but nonetheless, then
I was actually
you don't want to aggravate the French.
I was actually watching a podcast today that briefly spoke about that, and they said that a lot of the people over there as well that are really participating in the riots are refugees from other countries. I guess France has a very open policy
Yeah,
when it comes to refugees. Like they just take
a lot of
anybody.
Europe has. Yeah, that's been the trend in in the world recently.
He'll just
And
take
I
anybody.
mean, I'm all for immigration, but like wide open borders is a terrible idea on all fronts. I mean, I don't know. They made me sit through a bunch of, history lessons in school, and if I learned anything, it's a lot of countries fall because of letting, people just freely flow in without any sort of checks
Hmm.
and balances or systems.
Yeah, I
So
mean the worst part is that a lot of these refugees are also like smuggling weapons. Because you know over there in Europe, it's like extremely strict to get weapons, especially guns.
yeah,
Like
yep.
extremely.
And then there's no way to defend anything.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, so I
tough.
mean, it's a very political conversation, but it is. I mean, it can leak into markets as well. Unfortunately, that kind of activity can have certain impacts.
You said they're
But
protesting.
yeah, on
Yeah.
the Taiwan front, I don't think there's anything new. I'm sure there's pieces in that puzzle being adjusted every single day. I'm sure,
Oh, yeah.
some sort of fighter jet or warship is like, infringing on like borders that they probably shouldn't be.
Yo, the
But
U.S. is flip-flopping too, by the way, on their stance with Taiwan. One minute they're saying that they're gonna defend it no matter what, and now the other minute they're like they don't want to get involved.
well, I mean, that's the thing though. It's like technically by agreement we do have to get involved. But by getting involved really does lead nowhere other than like World War III. So, I mean, there is the case for not getting involved, but the kind of consequences of not getting involved and giving that over to China would be very drastic as well. So,
I don't think a lot of
you
people
know,
understand the
nobody
importance of
nobody wants
Taiwan.
war, but we'd also don't want China to be in possession of that. So
Hell
it's
no. That's the thing. A lot of people don't understand what like the importance of Taiwan, not realizing that Taiwan does play a major role in this entire world, especially with, I mean, they say,
manufacturing chips.
yeah, like they make up like
That's what it is.
70% of the chips made globally comes out of
Yeah.
Taiwan. And like,
So
we
the
have
chips and
chips in
everything, the chips in your computer, the chips in your
everything. Like,
coffee maker, the chip that's in your car, yeah, all the computer chips and everything. And there's more
yeah,
computer chips and things these days than you could even fathom. You'd probably be like, why does that even have a computer chip? But you'd be
and we
surprised to know
and
that
we
it does.
definitely don't want China controlling because they're gonna tax the hell out of us.
Yeah,
Just
there's
make it,
that. They may not even offer it to you. I mean, there's a lot of consequences to that.
yeah.
But shout out to India, who will be a big future player in that, thanks to companies like Apple and other companies that are consistently investing in them, and for them investing in themselves as well.
Yeah, what a time to
But
be
yeah,
alive,
India,
man.
that's why the India diversification is necessary. I read that they're protesting at BlackRock headquarters in France. Are they really? Is that really what's going on? I couldn't tell you what's going on, but that's funny. If they're protesting at BlackRock HQ, show the power to them. Can I look at gold? I could take a look at gold. Or well, who do you want to look at gold? Because Ray's got his charts up. So
Bro, one
same.
of
If you want,
one of the one of the worst things too about that whole situation, bro, is like that even the cops out there in France, bro, are so limited as to what they can do. Like they can't actually even fight back, bro. Like I was like in the podcast I was watching, they said that they have like the only options that they have are literally all of them are non-lethal for one. And for two, like the main one is literally just to throw like tear gas and stuff like that. So like they can't even really fully
yeah,
defend
and that's
themselves
not
out
even
there.
that. That's not even effective against riots
You can
because
still
they're a
fight through
very
tear gas. Like
not even that. You can. I mean, you can very easily. There's strategies for that. It's like they'll like if you're riding correctly and like you're organized even to a small degree, you would just give people, you would just make it the job of like 20, 30 people to just cover all the tear gas canisters. So it's like as they shoot them, you just get people that just, like it's like diving on a grenade. You just run
just
on it and just
bro,
like
you
cover it with like
just
a
kick it
pot or a
out the
pan.
way. Just kick it out the
Yeah, that's what I'm
way.
saying. Kick it out of the way. You cover it with a cone. They use things like umbrellas. There's a whole slew of like tactics you can use.
Yeah, no, that's insane.
It's like, yeah, they really, yeah. Apparently, they arrested thousands of people,
Thousands though
but
have been
there's
arrested.
tens of thousands riding, so that's it is what it is. We not far away to the France situation. Yeah, but see, the US can't do what France is doing. The US is too big. Not even that it's too big. It's more difficult to do it in a matter that like really, I don't know, it's tougher to organize. You know, like in France, it's easy. You can get a couple thousand people together and you could like walk across all of France. You know, of course, like the course of like a couple of days, like you can get like a herd mentality of people just meeting up. You know, it's easier to drive from one side of France to the other than it is in the United States. So yeah, but even pre-COVID, bro, that wasn't even bro. That was nothing. That was nothing. Like they could have controlled that in a matter of moments. They just chose not to. It's not, yeah, trust me. You have never seen like full force police against like you've never seen them really pull out everything they could pull out.
Interesting.
Yeah, nah, yeah. If you think the protests pre-COVID were like not, yeah, that's nothing. They could have shut those down in no time.
Yeah.
Again, they have like a degree of lethal force here that they could technically escalate to if they needed
Bro,
to.
we
Or
have a whole
not even like that they would be laying people out, but like, you know,
bro, we have a
they could
we have
definitely threaten people to a degree that France just literally can't.
yeah, they can. And we have a whole military that backs us regardless of the
Yeah, that's
fact.
what I'm saying.
Like
Like if the
what?
military pulls up and like they start shooting rubbers at people, like
Like
people are gonna switch their mind real quick.
yeah,
Like a
100%.
lot of people maybe won't, but like trust me, they start pulling out like actual artillery, and the people are gonna real quick decide to disperse. Over there, they don't even have that option. It's like so the worst they're gonna do is like tear gas me, like Abel said. Like, okay,
Uh,
that's cool.
yeah, I'll take a little tear gas if I can still get to you.
Yeah, say if it's my freedoms and all I'm getting is tear gassed, yeah, you got a problem on your hands. Yeah, bro, not in full force though. You're ignoring the fact that I keep saying in full force. You seen like 2% force deployed like the National Guard.
Yeah. I mean, so who's gonna look at gold though? Yo, Ray, bring up gold though. Let's all give our thoughts and opinions on
I don't
that
know. I was waiting
actually.
for Saint to say who he
Y'all go
wanted.
ahead. Y'all, I'm not looking. I'm not like this keep happening to me. I'm not.
He's locked
Nah,
in.
you don't want it? Yeah, I'll take a look.
Yeah, nah, he gets locked in. He don't want to get distracted. I don't blame him.
Let's see.
I don't blame him at all.
Let's see what gold did. All right.
You right
Let's
now.
see. Would you
I
mind
haven't
looking at
really updated
GJ?
my gold chart.
Yeah, I'll take a look at GJ after we look at gold. I got you.
Okay, so let's get rid of some of this lower time frame stuff here.
Shout out to that boy Jude, by the way, man. Always good to see you in the chat, bro.
All right, so we did finally take out this daily loan candle or stutter candle, whatever you want to call this very specific bearish candle over here. So that's good to see. Give just a little check mark, just as a reminder that we've technically taken this. Hold above this wick. It's good to see. Move down on some decent volume, couldn't close, move back up on higher volume. That's good to support a bullish bias. There's really no order block type candle, at least on this time frame here. So that's interesting to note. Let's just, I mean, we're also at a new month here, so I actually kind of want to. Okay. I'm closed on lower volume. Now let's take a look at the 4-hour. All right, so the 4-hour candle that took out the daily loan candle, which is this pattern here, is technically, by all definitions, a 4-hour order block. It's an engulfing pattern that swept major liquidity, the major liquidity being defined by that candle on the daily, and closed on higher effort. Not only that, it also retested this candle, and then we continued higher. So this is all but confirmed in my opinion. The only thing I don't like about this is it's a rather wide price range. This is a 4-hour. It's kind of common that it is kind of this wide, but I typically don't like them this wide. But again, we've already retested this and pushed higher. So as far as I'm concerned, this is already valid. There's no question in my mind. Now it's just a matter of, do we clearly move away from this, or do we come back and additionally test? because what typically happens, and people get often really excited when they see something like this, where they have like, an order block that came back, it retested, and some smart money concept traders will jump through the roof because this is like a 50% retracement of like the candle. And some people get really excited about that for some reason. I don't, but some people have that bias. But usually what happens in these situations is you'll kind of erase this move and just liquidate this and then take off. It's like one of my all-time favorite kind of patterns to play. So I may be a little biased in wanting that, but let's see if we have anything on the lower time frames that gives us some more insight, because that 4-hour time frame don't really tell us much else. Let me see. Come down to the 15-minute here. So one, I'm going to be interested in where this stops. Okay, so we filled out some of this imbalance, but not quite all of it. And we're probably going to fill out all of it. Plus, you got like these tweezer tops, all this liquidity above here. Okay. Yeah, my plan remains the same. If I was going to get involved in this market again, because I'm forcing a bias here because I've already done my analysis on the DXY. So I already know what I want on the DXY. I want to see some dollar strength to give me the opportunity to then get into shorts, right? We discussed that earlier on the stream. You guys, if you weren't on, you can kind of go back and watch that whenever you need to. But that was my bias. So I am going to lean and kind of force that into this as well. And it's not really forcing because, again, based on what I see in the daily and the 4-hour, I already kind of like this direction. But I do want to see this low get taken. I would like to see this basically build up more liquidity, or build up liquidity in the sense that it just sweeps this just a little bit and then we take off. Very kind of common pattern. Again, I reference this a lot in regards to this really old swing trade we took on EU all the way down here. The same kind of idea, right? Where you formulate the bottom, you have that pullback structure. Again, like we're maybe like in this area here on gold, and I'll discuss the potential of like something like this as well. But then you come back and you just take out that low, right? You just take out that low, and then it's ready in the macro to like actually swing. All right, so pretty common pattern that I play. Again, I would be hoping for the same thing to happen over here. But again, much like EU, this might not do something like this. This might have like more up before that happens. So with that in mind, where else would I be interested in playing? That's the problem, is I'm not really interested anywhere else. I would be maybe interested in like this. Even then, I don't think that sticks. Yeah, that's probably not gonna stick with these. Yeah, that's not gonna stick. Yeah, I probably wouldn't play anything other than this. I may be waiting because the reality is this might find some sort of demand inside of here, which would be kind of annoying, but might come for this first. And then once we formulate that, it may do like that slow and really painful kind of pullback. But my swing entry would be down there. So this would be ideal. This is what I would be looking for. And especially with the bank holiday tomorrow and this week, I really don't trust any sort of buys if this doesn't get taken. So that's what I'd be looking at. And again, I'm very much bullish gold in the macro, again, because I'm bearish dollar. So I would be looking for the eventual squeeze of all of this. But yeah, that's what I see on gold. So I don't know if you guys have the same idea. Let me know in the chat. Drop a 1 or something.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the opposite and you think it'll go bearish, I don't know. Drop a 2. Let me know if you agree, if you don't agree. But that's what I'll be watching for personally on gold. I don't know when we'll get this pullback, but that is the optimal price point for me. Is right right below this 1900. And I might even jump the gun and like take some entries at like 1903, 1902, just because I know this is going to be where my stop loss is anyway. So if I need to put like a 1/4% risk or 0.5% risk in here, and then if we do get that slip, add the remaining amount of my risk that remains after the drawdown. So if I take 0.25% risk here, by the time this gets down here, I might only be able to take like 0.50 for a total of like 0.75. But yeah, that's neither here nor there. The idea is that I'll be looking at this area to buy.
Okay.
The same thing, 30-minute on gold. I really dislike the 30-minute time frame. Yeah, I don't know. I never use this time frame personally, so whatever you see on that, I'm just gonna personally ignore. But yeah, that's what I
Gold,
see.
man.
That's what I see.
Gold has just been so interesting, bro. There's just I've been attempting to take a couple stabs at longs for the past couple weeks and been getting destroyed personally.
Yes, I mean, so have I, honestly. But now that we've taken out this daily loan candle, it's either we work off this or she's gonna go for a much deeper correction, in my opinion.
Hmm.
This is as far as back as I could expect this to go at this point.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah, I've been having a love-hate relationship with her ass.
Yeah, I can't lie. I've had a few stabs lose, a lot of stabs break even.
Bro, I can't even say it's been a love-hate. It's just been a straight domestic violence relationship with her. Like that's
Sometimes it's like that, yeah. Sometimes she smacks us around for a little bit.
yeah, bro. Like that's really
Yeah,
how
it's,
it's been.
as welcome to swing trading though. Like when you try to catch a swing and you try to hold a little bit of your partials or something. I mean, because are you still in UJ? I don't know. Or did you hold that over the weekend?
No, I actually closed out all my UJ positions.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know you held that for a few days as well. You let the fundamentals kind of play out.
Yeah, yeah, no, I did. And then I actually got out damn near at the perfect time though. Like I got out literally at the top at around
Yeah, because you got out
145.
on Friday probably, right?
Yeah, I got out like actually Thursday night. Like literally right around 145, like at the high of UJ, which was like perfect timing. But I am looking for some more longs. That's for damn
Yeah,
sure.
no, I feel you on that. That's good. That's good. I'm just, I was just happy to see that you kind of held some partials for a little bit beyond.
Yeah, bro. Like again,
I'm always proud when the team can squeeze more out of a trade. Remember, family, the less that we push the button, the better, right? The less risk we have to take on a day-to-day basis, the better. I know Ray will sometimes disagree with that. He likes to get his money quick and dip. I mean, there's no right or wrong. But there's undeniably truth in that, like the less you push the button, the better. Whether that's you're disciplined enough to only take the setups that you believe in, that you highly believe in, whether they're quick trades or not, or whether that's managing your trades so you don't have to take more entries. Whichever way that rolls out for you, at the end of the day, you know, you're mitigating risk by expressing insane amounts of discipline, or I mean, it's discipline on both sides. It's the discipline to hold and then the discipline to wait for your setup.
yeah, 100%.
Did you want to go over a GJ though? I think somebody requested that.
Yeah, yeah, I'll go take over. I'll look at GJ and UJ because I'm gonna have pretty similar, for the most part, ideas on that. I can start off with GJ. I mean, GJ is already on fire to start the week. This thing looks like it's already about to go ahead and create new highs. Probably by the morning time, I wouldn't be surprised. And this is the thing this is where it gets kind of tough trying to get into a pair like GJ. Although I am still long-term bullish, like bro, we're like treading in extended areas, and not just that, but I see that we're really getting into an area of structure where I think if we are gonna see a pullback, I think it will probably occur somewhere at these order blocks up here around this 184, 185 level. I'll just say around psychological level, 185s. Because I am still long-term bullish, but man, again, price can do what it wants. This can easily just continue to fly, like with no care in the world. but it can also go ahead and give us reasons to go short as well, right? So like GJ is gonna be tough. I don't even think I'll make my decisions based off like what GJ is doing. I'll more so probably focus on what the yen basket is looking like, right? If the yen basket presents opportunity to give a pullback, then obviously I'll have to expect everything else to pull back. But even this, man, like this thing has just been so bearish, bro. Like extremely, extremely bearish here. That this thing is probably just gonna continue running. But yeah, GJ is at an interesting level, man. I'll have to see how we react up here. At the very least, I think we could see some type of reaction. At this, at around I mean, it's such a wide range too. Anywhere between 185s and and again, this is a wide range, so I apologize for it to be so wide, but anywhere between 185 and like the 188.5, like realistically speaking, we could possibly see price really start to give a little bit of a bearish momentum, right? Just to at least give us some type of a pullback in this market. This thing has just been, I mean, on fire, right? Like by far, if we look at this thing from a weekly perspective, we're talking about almost 2 months worth of just straight bullishness, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yeah, around 8 weeks straight, right? With just straight bullish candlesticks here. Now we are starting to see clearly, the momentum's dying down, if you want to say that just by looking at these candlesticks, right? But you can make the case to say that, man, even these candlesticks in the past look like they were starting to lose momentum. And then what happened? We had the biggest bullish candlestick that we've seen in the past 2 years for GJ, right? So it's kind of tough. So I'm definitely bullish. I would just need to really wait for some deeper pullbacks, or not even deep. I would just need to wait for some pullbacks that make sense for me, right? So if we're able to possibly get back even below structure, then that would be phenomenal. I just don't think we're gonna see it down here. Like I would love for these lows to get completely taken out. I just don't think we're gonna see that happen, like at all. If it was to happen, then oh man, yeah, I would be extremely, extremely bullish for sure. I just don't think we're gonna get that low. So if we don't get that low, what other levels can we identify that could also give us potential, reasons to get in? What about this wick fill? Right? What about this little 1 hour candle right here, right? That, was formed back at 8 o'clock. If the market does maybe something like this, we fill the wick, then maybe we can even look for more opportunities to get involved there. All right. So those are the only areas I'll be looking for, right? Either probably below here, below this 183 level, then possibly look for continuations. Or what I would prefer is just go ahead and take out this entire range, right? Take out the entire range. Go ahead and bounce off this little order block down here at the lows, and then possibly go ahead and look for some bullishness off of there. That would be best case scenario if you ask me. But yeah, I have to wait. There's definitely nothing that I would want to get involved while this thing is pushing. I'll have to see how we react off of the wick fill. Fill this wick, take out the low, and if we find some bullish, honestly, you could really just take it once we break the lows. To be honest with you, and just have your stop loss in place just in case. But either down here or down here is where I would be, looking for some longs on GJ personally. Let me see what you guys are saying. Let's see. Why don't you leave smart partials running, Able? I mean, because I had got away from that, right? Again, I went from being that swing trader where I would let things ride out to then just changing my whole trading plan around to account for the actual market conditions. And I was like, you know what? I'll take off majority. Like what I've been doing is once I get to like TP1, like I'm closing out at around half of my position, if not more. And then TP2, I'll take off a little bit more. And then TP3, I'll probably close out the whole thing. And then just say forget about the runners and just be happy with what I got. But on Tuesday, when I initially got into those UJ positions, I did that, right? I ended up closing out partials, a big position, and I was just letting those things run. But that was because I was so confident in the overall direction of the market because of the fundamental side of things, right? Not even about the technicals, but the fundamentals. The fundamentals are just favoring the dollar a lot more than the yen, and I don't see any change coming anytime soon for that whatsoever. You know, but yeah, it just wasn't a part of my plan. All right, I just never had it in my plan for this entire year just to let partials run. But the way UJ's been running, you never know. I might have to adjust it specifically just for UJ, just because it has been trending ever so nicely. All right, so I don't know. I'll make some adjustments though. right? I just got back on UJ, right? Again, keep in mind I haven't traded UJ in like 3 years. Like 3 years. UJ used to be one of my favorite pairs. But then I started focusing a lot on Euro, the GJs, and then gold. And then I started focusing this year on indices a lot more, trading the S&P, and then just recently starting to get into NASDAQ. I just got back into UJ last week because I realized how trendy it actually was compared to everything else. So, but again, I'll adjust. That's why for me, I'm very comfortable with adjusting my trading plan if need be. All right, if the opportunity presents itself, the market conditions are changing, then I'll change as well. All right, but let's see. I think GJ going to take out that supply level. It's possible. All right, GJ going to do what it wants. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if GJ just continues bullish from here. But in order for us to get into a trade, it has to make sense. Right? Just because we believe it's going to continue to go doesn't necessarily mean we want to just jump in right here just because we expect it to break the highs. No, that just doesn't make sense. Right? We still have to get in the optimal areas of price. Or we want to get in the most liquid areas of price. Right? In my opinion, the most liquid areas of price will be below the 183 level or either below the 182 level. So that's where I would really feel comfortable going ahead and get involved. I'm not just going to jump in just because I believe it's going to go ahead and go bullish. Right, but yeah, so that's my GJ, man. I have to be patient on that, and UJ is gonna be something similar as well. I mean, UJ actually kind of gave some opportunities. All right, I was actually looking at a couple levels earlier when the market actually opened up, and the levels right here are the ones that I had marked off right here. Again, I am extremely bullish UJ as well. Honestly, these weren't even really the main levels I was looking for. Like, I really wanted to see how we reacted off of this entire demand zone down here. And then when price started to create this, or created it on Friday, I'm like, okay, let's see if this trend line holds, because this trend line could easily be taken out. The trend line was taken out. We did grab that trend line liquidity, but then I also kept my eye on this low right here. All right, is this low strong enough to hold? All right, I honestly didn't think that this low right here was strong enough to hold because the low that put in the high really wasn't that strong, right? We barely broke this little internal level of structure right there. So I really didn't think that this low was going to hold. So I expected price to possibly run both of those levels, and then we can go ahead and look for some longs, on the sweep of this entire demand zone. That would have been great for me. Like if we would have seen that, and it's still possible, right? Again, we're on a 5-minute time frame, right? So price can still during London session come out, take out this low, and then possibly give us opportunities to go long there. And honestly, I would prefer that. I would hope that happens. I don't want this thing to just take off without us right now. All right, because it's very hard to trade UJ when we're already trading back at extreme highs. It's just tough to do. So yeah, I would love for us to come back down and take out this entire range and then give us opportunities to go long. That would be phenomenal. Like I would love that, right? That would be great for me. So that's what I'm gonna be waiting for this entire week, man. If we can get that, cool. If we don't, then we're just gonna be patient. But I'm still bullish. I'm definitely looking for long opportunities here on UJ, and on GJ for that matter. We just got to play price when it presents itself. Because at the end of the day, the one thing that I can control is what price actually ends up doing. Right? Because who knows? Price could still come down to here for New York session. Take out this little low right here, and then we have enough momentum to continue. That's possible as well. All right. So I'm just gonna play it by day by day. I watch this in real time and see what what price action is telling me. If price action is telling me that we are going to go bullish from here, then I'll take my stab. If it works, amazing. If price action is telling me we're just going to continue dropping to take out the low, then I'll also be, prepared for that as well if it gives me that. I'm not opposed to any of that whatsoever. Let's see. Anytime I see a pair make it very obvious for traders to win, GJ is a good example. I'm pretty sure everybody's stabbing buys. I always question it. I'm not in a way where I'll just short. I'll keep an eye for weak signs. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, bro. I mean, that's really that whole theory, of, getting in where everybody's pretty much stop losses are, right? And just identifying I mean, I preach this all the time, right? If it's obvious to the masses, then it's probably going to be highly manipulated, right? All those areas around, those major key levels are going to be manipulated in a way that, it's going to entice people to get in, but in reality, it's just setting them up to get trapped, right? And get liquidated. So I'm with you, I'm with you on that as well. We got to be aware of those things, but if the opportunity shows itself, man, I'm taking that regardless. And to be honest with you, The only reason why I'm a little torn on GJ and UJ is because at this point, I think everybody is trying to call this top up here. Right? Think about how many people probably try to sold every single time we started to reject at these levels. Right? Because that's probably like the most obvious thing, right? We've been so bullish. People can't fathom the fact that this has been so strong and still look for more longs on it, right? Most traders, most newer traders are probably looking for opportunities to short up here, which is why it's tough for me to do that. Because I don't want to align myself. I'd rather just look for the continuations, until proven otherwise. All right, because I'm pretty sure most rookie traders, newer traders, whatever you want to call them, they're probably looking for shorts. They've probably been looking for shorts for the past few weeks and it just hasn't been working out. And that just makes me want to be even more bullish, right? Because everybody's probably looking for shorts already. So, I don't know. Definitely a couple ways to look at it for sure. But I'm definitely bullish. I just got to be patient. Hopefully by tomorrow morning, again, we are going to be live tomorrow. I'm excited, man, because we're now going to be going live Monday through Thursday for y'all in the premium room, in the live trade room, in the premium for the premium community. So you never know. Tomorrow morning, man. Hopefully tomorrow morning during New York session, we have a couple opportunities to get in for both UJ and possibly UJ. We can go ahead and ride them things out long term. All right. So I hope, man, it's gonna be a great time if we can get some nice positions here on UJ and GJ and just hold them things out for sure. Let's see. I joined and it was the best decision ever. I mean, yeah. I mean, I definitely appreciate you, Liliani. I mean, we're just warming up, right? Is the thing again, like this this whole joint thing that we're doing together is still technically brand new, right? Like our platform's only been up for around 6, 7 months now, right? So we're still, working on a bunch of things, and we appreciate all of your guys' patience as we transition through a few different things. But just know we're just now warming up. We're just now getting comfortable with four different perspectives, right? Like think about, what us as traders have to go through as well, right? Where, we have our bias, but then we hear somebody that we truly, respect in this industry have a completely different bias. Like, yeah, it's gonna mess with us a little bit mentally, right? So it's definitely it's been a learning curve for all of us for sure. And just know, man, we're only gonna get better. We're only gonna get bigger. We're only gonna get better with time as we continue to get more accustomed with each other. It's only going to be a lot beneficial for everybody that's a part of the family. So again, we appreciate all you guys that have been rocking with us, that's been having patience, especially through the transitional periods. And trust me, it's going to pay out in the long run for sure. For all y'all that's been rocking, it's going to continue to rock with us. But yeah, UJ, GJ is definitely going to be my focus for this up and coming week. As for the indices, I don't think anybody's really looked at. I mean, I know Ray has been, he called out Nasdaq already. It's still going, right? I mean, it's pretty much just playing around break even right now. So hopefully that plays out. But obviously we're definitely going to keep our eyes on indices as well for New York session. See how that plays out. See what we can come up with. And I think those are like the main ones that we're really going to be playing this week. So I'm excited, man. I think it's going to be a great week overall, if you ask me. But besides that, man, anybody else? Ray, Kyle, Skaggs, you guys got anything else you guys want to talk about before we go ahead and wrap this thing up? Because we got to be up early tomorrow and get right to work.
Nothing for me. Y'all know what I'm looking at. If y'all in early, you got about a 1 to 5. If you wait for the highs to get swept, you'll have about a 1 to 10. So, take with that information what you will. That's what I'm gonna be waiting on personally. So
Okay. All right. Nice. Let's get it. Let's get it. What about you,
Yeah, no,
Kyle?
I'm cool. I'm cool. Hopefully USD CAD can keep dropping here for the week. I'm definitely gonna call out a reentry. I'm not sure when, but I know we'll get a reentry soon. I would say EU and GU. I don't really got much for now because the dollar's still kind of figuring itself out. But I can tell you for sure I'm gonna be calling out some more bearish entries on the USD CAD.
Okay. Some bearish entries on USD CAD. So just based off how I think you trade, your first area of interest is what going to be back up at around this level right here, this little 5 minute engulfing.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
See
And
how we react up there.
yeah, so if we come up there for New York tomorrow, I'll probably go ahead and take it again.
I mean, we currently even have this 5 minute that we're testing right now that usually something that you like, but
Yeah, no, that looks valid too. It's just not really my session time.
yeah,
It could play for Asian session. You know, I trade Asian session like sometimes, but I don't think it's something that I'm like too worried of happening
yeah,
right now. If it plays out, it plays out. We can always catch the retest for New
yeah,
York, but I'm not gonna force anything at the start of the market for this week. I'm gonna remain patient because as you guys can see, like the setup that gave us the profits. I mean, it happened on the last day, Friday, and that was enough for the week. So all you do really need is 1 to 2 good setups a week. That's all it is. So
yeah. Okay. Nah, definitely be prepared. Looks like all of us are looking at, different pairs for this week, different setups, which is amazing. Ray over here about to kill the Nas. Skaggs is always looking at a few different things, indices, gold. Kyle's focused on UCAT. I'm focused on UJ, GJ. So yeah, man, it's gonna be, in my opinion, one of those weeks, family, where if you're part of the premium, definitely make sure to show up every single morning on time. Especially whenever Ray's on the call, because you guys know Ray be ready to push the button immediately as soon as he jumps on if he sees something that makes sense. Y'all don't want to be late to the party, man, for sure. All right, but family, we do appreciate your guys' time tonight. Thank you guys so much for jumping on. Hopefully, you guys are able to enjoy these live streams, especially now that we're back and we're going to be consistently doing these for y'all because I missed this and I missed y'all for sure. But family, we appreciate y'all. Love you guys. If you guys are part of the premium, we'll see you guys in the Discord and let's continue these conversations, family, in there. All right, family. Love you guys. Appreciate y'all. And we'll talk to you guys all a little bit later. Let's get it.